Professor Mark Williams, who is a former director of Oxford Mindfulness Center, says that mindfulness simply means knowing what is going inside and outside, moment by moment. So moment to moment awareness is mindfulness. Staying in the present moment is mindfulness. It sounds simple, it is simple, but you need to learn the techniques. You need to learn those exercises. And I'm inviting you to join this online course and benefit for a peaceful life. Namaste, you're all very welcome to this show which we call My Mind, My Friend, where we bring you experts in their own respective fields with new information that can help us to live a more happy, healthy, and meaningful life. So today, this is the day in February, and the love is in the air, as we say. So February is a month when we all get very excited about the Valentine's Day, which is not far now. And they say that fragrance of an essential oil can directly affect our emotional state. Our sense of smell through this nose actually is linked to the limbic lobe in the brain. And this limbic lobe is directly activating the hypothalamus. And the hypothalamus is the master or controller of the hormonal system in the body. So you can imagine that if we use something as simple that smells good, can have an effect on all of our senses and on our body. So let's find out with today's guest, who are professional aromatherapists. So please join me in welcoming from Lus Aromatherapy, Paula and Eileen. You're both very welcome. Namaste.
Thank you, Aparna, for that lovely introduction. You described it very well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm wondering, have you done a course in aromatherapy?
No, I know not much at all about aromatherapy. So actually that gives me my first question for you is, what is aromatherapy? Can you tell us a little bit about aromatherapy for those who know nothing about aromatherapy?
So aromatherapy is a holistic healing treatment, and it uses natural plant extracts such as essential oils. So we know them as flower extracts, or plant extracts such as rose, lavender. And we use these on the body, or we use them to smell. So, and they will then help the mind, as you said. So they'll help to de-stress the mind, the physical body, and the spirit. So stress, anxiety, they can also enter the bloodstream. So they can actually help with symptoms of pain. So conditions that you might have, such as arthritis, it'll be a complementary, or even for skin conditions, it can help soothe. So we know what lavender does. It helps soothe. We know eucalyptus, when it's smelled, it helps to clear the nasal passages. And there's hundreds of different other essential oils that aromatherapists will use as therapeutically or medicinally to help with symptoms or conditions.
That is so interesting to know that, it has actually a huge therapeutic benefit for people who are living, who are aiming to live a very holistic life, and they believe in living with nature. So this is getting, I'm really excited to find out more about aromatherapy and its benefits and how we can make use in our day-to-day life, because it shouldn't be that like a mystery, so you are going to solve that mystery, hopefully, for the audience. So essential oils are known for their historical and cultural associations with love and romance. So
Yeah.
I want to ask you, is there an essential oil for love?
There's many essential oils that are very attractive to both men and women. What springs to mind firstly is rose. It's known as the universal symbol of love, and it's an absolutely astounding, beautiful essential oil. And rose, it's also known as a soul perfume, and it's really, really deep. It's got a beautiful honey-like, some people refer to it as a straw-like aroma, but it's very, very appealing. And it's also on a therapeutic level. It's fantastic oil for the nervous system. So you can imagine it will actually help relax in the same way as lavender, very similar to lavender. And there are many other ones. There's sandalwood, there's ylang ylang, that's known as an aphrodisiac. And it's a very, very powerful oil as well. It's an exotic flower, and it's got a hint of spice off it. And in some cases, it comes out as top aphrodisiac. Again, it uplifts the mind. It is actually known as a mood enhancer. And there's also jasmine. Jasmine is sometimes referred to as the king of oils, although there can be a debate because we have the queen, and rose is known as the queen. So they sometimes, people say, I'm the king or I'm the queen, but they're both very similar in how they work. But jasmine is very exotic, beautiful flower, very lingering oil, with its aroma. It's an amazing oil to work with. It's also a fantastic oil for boosting, for joy, bringing joy, to help you with your self-confidence. And it's used by top perfumers, top aromatherapists, very nurturing. Rose is also very nurturing. But it's a very interesting topic, Aparna, because there's the whole aroma psychology aspect to aromas in general. From the moment we wake up till nighttime, and even through the night, we're actually inhaling and we're smelling. And different people link to aromas in different ways. And for example, ginger would also be known in India as an aphrodisiac. And ginger is actually a spicy oil, but you'd have to be very careful blending it, as a topical oil on the skin. But it is actually an aphrodisiac in its own right. Now, if ginger entered the room, you'd go, stand back, ginger's in the room. It's very, very powerful oil, very stimulating, very good for the circulation. So it'd be fantastic oil if you had cold hands and feet, to rub in.
And cinnamon actually is another good love oil. Yeah. Again, for the same reasons. It's spicy, but it warms the blood. So you can imagine anything kind of warms the blood, gets you in the mood. And it has a great effect on the mind as well. But again, you need to like them.
Yeah.
So if you have had a past experience with these oils or these smells, then it's not going to have the same effect on one person as it might do another. So it's really important that you connect with the scent and the smell. So it's like a perfume. It's very hard to buy somebody a perfume because everybody has a very personal, I see perfume as very personal.
Yes.
So each person has their own scent and they smell, and essential oils are the same way. So when you're treating a patient, it's really important that you've got an understanding of what they like in relation to smell, because you don't want them to have a bad experience emotionally or spiritually. So
yeah, another just also, I have some lavender oil here. If you have some oils at home and you want to experiment, we're talking about love oils here and aphrodisiacs because obviously for St. Valentine's Day, but lavender cannot be ruled out because it's a compassionate healer, and lavender is world renowned, and the reason being is because it works. And it's an amazing oil for relaxation. So you could put a few drops in your diffuser or in your burner, a few drops in the bath, and it will help calm and relax the mind. It's very anti-inflammatory, so it will help with aches and pains, but also a lovely fresh aroma and herbaceous. And it's actually stands up to its name, like in terms of French, lavande, to wash, laver, to wash. And lavender is actually associated with being clean. So it's very, very, very interesting. And all of these oils that myself and Paul are talking about as well, they work fantastic in meditation. And they, if you were simply to sit and put a few drops of lavender in your burner and sit back and create a nice quiet atmosphere for yourself, and to just sit back and calm the mind, inhale the aromas, you'll have an amazing experience. When I'm teaching the oils with my students and that, we actually introduce meditation to help get them to actually learn the oils and how they work and why they work, and all the chemical components. It's amazing.
And they're great as well. You can connect them with the chakras. So if anybody is doing some spiritual work, you can choose oils. So whether it's the heart chakra, the crown chakra.
So let's figure out, because it is Valentine's special. So what oil would be very kind of connecting for the heart chakra?
Rose. Rose is absolutely amazing to work on the heart.
And can I ask one? It could be like a very basic question, but not that maybe a lot of other people would want to know. So people use like rose directly. They bring bunch of roses as a gift, and then there is rose water, and then there is rose oil. So like, what is the difference? Like, what is it that there is a lot of roses taken to make the oil? Is that correct?
Well, there's different roses. So we use two types of roses in our products. Generally, we use absolutes, which is 100% distilled, and they're actually pressed or extracted. So we use Sagifolia is one. It's kind of like a sweet rose, and then we use a rose from Damascena. And that's more rich. It has a more rich, heavy, rosy scent. It's nearly like when you pick a rose, the red rose, and you smell it and you get that really rosy scent. And Bulgaria actually is known to have really, really good rose. So where it's a bit like a fine wine, it's nearly like the grape. So where they come from, Bulgaria does magnificent roses and rose essential oil. So it's actually the petals that they would distill it from.
Rose is the reason it's so strong. There is a difference, of course. That's a very, very good question. Like you could have a spray, like it's a refined version of rose, or you can have, as Paula was saying, the absolutes. The absolutes are like the real genuine extraction. They're known as absolute, and they're extracted by what's known as an absolute extraction. And they are very, very strong. And actually, when you're blending them, one drop is actually equivalent to 2 and maybe 3 in some cases. But they are the real genuine extraction from the rose petal. And it takes thousands of petals to actually get rose oil. And that's why rose absolute oil is so expensive. But in natural products, real rose essential oil is used, and we would use those 2 oils that Paula was talking about in all our products to ensure that we get the best aroma and the best feeling emotionally for people as well, because rose is so good for the nervous system.
So I think we can safely advise people to definitely bring roses home for this Valentine's Day, either just roses or rose oil.
Yeah,
Would that
rose
be right?
oils, yeah, beautiful. And there's loads of ways, like you can put them into, if you want to bring them home, we do a lovely oil. So you can, with rose, this is rose, jasmine, frankincense is in here, and a little bit of bergamot, which is another uplifting oil, and it's just fabulous to massage onto the skin and for the
Okay.
senses, and
So
beautiful.
this is like a blend of different oils, and it is good for massage.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
use what's called a synergy blend. So it's where you can take several different oils, and they all have chemical components. So when we're looking at oils, we're looking to see what they can bring. So we'll mix oils, say patchouli you haven't mentioned yet.
Oh, patchouli, my
Patchouli is
favorite
another one. So that's got a
Yeah.
sesquiterpenes, which is a
Yeah.
chemical within it. And that gives off its own benefit. So each essential oil has its own chemical therapeutic benefit. So jasmine, we put in this one, rose, bergamot. So it's a really, really nurturing, mothering, uplifting, very feminine blend. So you're not just getting the benefits to the skin, but also to the olfactory system, to the mind. So it really is very much a mind, body, and soul experience. You know?
So if someone is looking to kind of do a little massage for their partner on this Valentine's Day,
Oh,
Yeah.
brilliant. Like
It's
an
very
aromatherapy
good.
massage is
would
so
this oil be
distressing.
available on your website on lusaromatherapy.ie?
Yes, that oil is available, and that's a beautiful one to massage with. Albeit it's very luxurious and it is an expensive one. But thanks for reminding me about my favorite oil, patchouli. I love patchouli because patchouli is so musky, and I did forget to mention that when we were talking about the aphrodisiacs. Like patchouli has been all around the world and back again, and known as the hippie oil in the 60s. And it's an absolutely amazing aroma, and it's very, very, very strong. Now, some people would be, oh no, don't give me patchouli. But patchouli, believe it or not, is in nearly every household because it ends up in an awful lot of cosmetics and body products, soaps in particular, because it has such a beautiful lingering effect and long-lasting aroma. But it's very musky, and I'd go as far as to say animalistic. And that's we're all evolved. We're all like, attracted to that, and it's masculine and feminine, and it's used in by top perfumers, Joe Malone, Chanel, Christian Dior. It being like Coco Mademoiselle, for example.
I think Tom Ford even might have it.
Tom Ford. Everyone seems to have patchouli, but it's the trick is in the blending of patchouli. Patchouli has to be blended properly, and little goes a long way. And that counts for all those top oils that we're talking about, those aphrodisiac oils. A small bit goes a long way, but they're extremely powerful. And I love patchouli. Actually, I call it PS I love you. So I think it's a great one to talk about, because when I was learning about patchouli, there were so many oils to learn that I had to kind of work out things, even funny little slogans, so that I'd remember bits and pieces about the chemical components. So patchouli was P for patchouli, and the S is the sequiterpene. And because it's a love romantic oil, I named it after the movie PS I Love You. And, so that's how I remember it. But it truly does. It stands the test of time. And to be quite honest, I would recommend that people try patchouli, and even to blend it with a bit of lavender and a little bit of rose.
Or a bit of orange.
A bit of orange. I was actually just going to show you something here. Like in this, there's 10 ml here of almond oil in this. Now you could have, very often you might have almond oil at home or coconut oil at home, or you may have more than that, or you may have the jojoba oil
or a light
or
oil.
nice,
so you can buy them just like this. So this
Yeah,
is like a little blending oil. And
jojoba
you
oil.
see ticerind. It's really important, I think, when people are buying essential oils or plant-based oils, especially if they're going on the skin, that you look for, one, organic. I'm a big fan of organic, but two, that they're reputable brands, because essential oils are not regulated. It's not a regulated industry yet. So you really need to find a trustworthy supplier. So sometimes you'll see them in home stores and where they're selling diffusers. And if you smell like the lavenders, they're fairly synthetic. So I'd be looking at health food stores, chemists, but again, just watch that they're pure.
Yes.
So ticerind is a good brand, and there's a few other. Irish Ogham is a good Irish brand. So
And that really brings me to my next question, because I think what I really love about your products, that they are really, hand blended and they are made by you. So you are local, you are based in Navan and in Ireland.
Mm.
Whereas, if we buy something even from a health food store, I bought some stuff, and when you look back and you read the ingredients, so there are too many things in there, and which I can't either read, or if
yeah,
I read, I don't understand what it is. So I
mm,
really like to buy things that have minimal ingredients.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
know that somebody who has made, I can trust that person.
yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about your process. Like, how do you create your products?
Ooh,
Well, there you
there's
go. That's the first
well,
step.
I was just going to make up a little blend here, and I was going to suggest something for. I think we should have rose because it's Valentine's, and I was going to put in 1 drop of rose into this.
And you can make this at home. So if you
So, yeah, I've 10 ml here. I happen to have almond oil, and almond oil is fantastic for the skin. It's got
So, how much almond oil?
10 ml.
10 ml. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to put in,
so you want to look at 1 drop and 5.
yeah,
So 1 drop of essential oil to 5 ml of plant oil. So like your almond or your jojoba.
right. So there's 1 rose has gone in there. So that's really 2 drops. And I actually find that rose and lavender go very well for relaxation.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm going to put 1 drop of lavender in. The smells are amazing here.
I wish I was also in that room.
So I now have 2 drops in here, but really I have 3 because rose is the absolute, but that's okay. And that's actually adequate. That's an adequate amount of drops for the skin.
But if you wanted, and what we do is what a lot of professional perfumers will do. So each essential oil has its own perfume note. So you'll find some are what we call,
beautiful.
I know, some are base notes, heart notes, middle notes, or top notes. So rose is a base note, which means that you mightn't get it straight away, but it lasts, it lingers. Whereas orange, citrus would be a top note, so you smell them straight away, but they go. And then you've got the heart note. So the lavender is a middle heart note, and then your base note. So we try and do a top, middle, and base. So if you're putting oils together, now that's as us, but they tend to balance themselves. So that's how we would balance. So when we're creating our synergy blend, that's what we're looking at. So we're looking at, 1, the therapeutic effect. So we're saying, okay, what do we want to do? Do we want a romantic oil or do we want to uplift? Do we want it clearing? So we would pick a top, middle, and base.
But this little blend that I've made here now would be absolutely amazing for stress. And you could actually put that with 10 ml of full fat milk and make yourself a nice Cleopatra bath. You could even put your lovely rose petals. We have some rose petals here in the bath, and mix your 10 ml with your oil with an emulsifier, because oils and water don't really mix, so they'll just float to the top. But if you could even put it in if you had a plain base shampoo, or you know, something like that, you could actually put that in there too, and that would be okay.
Salts
And salts, yeah, and you could add that into Epsom salt or Dead Sea salts, or make a combination. And but also just to inhale. This is uplifting me now here.
And tell me, like, could you go wrong with that? Like, is it safe to inhale essential oils? And how would you know that if it is too strong, it might cause any harm or side effect? Is there anything like that?
You would have to be careful, you know. For example, when we're selling products, we make sure that we know the skin types, and we know what that person wants the product for. You know, what is the purpose? Why do they want this? What are we making for them? Have they any skin allergies? You know, that. And this, the blend that we've just discussed here, is a very, very safe blend. Having said that, if you had someone with very sensitive skin, we may not suggest that. We may say, you know, maybe not give them an absolute. Absolutes can be, they are a heavier oil, and the very odd person can you know, their skin may become irritated. But, you know, in terms of putting oils in the bath, up to 6 drops would be fine, except with spicy oils, very spicy oils. You would always be very, very, very careful. It's all about, you know, there is that side to it, the safety aspect, and it's a very, very good question. But, you know, we would be very, very firm on that with any blending that we're doing.
To put in a diffuser, so if you wanted to, everybody's got the electric diffusers, so you could put a few drops, depending on the size, so you could put 6 to 8 drops of those oils in your diffuser, and it would smell the room, and that's generally safe. Putting on the skin, though, it's really important. So some oils could be contraindicated. So Clary Sage is another great aphrodisiac oil, and it's great for balancing hormones. It's really great for women, especially, I know menopause has been up, and perimenopause, and that could be a totally different segment. But Clary Sage is really good for that. But you do need to check if there are any homeopathic medicines, because some oils can actually will affect, it can stop the homeopathic remedies from working. Also, blood pressure is another one where essential oils, so they can be, even though they're natural, you still have to respect the oils. You know, they can be dangerous or can have adverse effects if they're not used properly.
Yeah. So it would be safer to kind of either read the attached leaflet, or ask if you are buying directly from somebody, then ask the question.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you can get most of these oils in your chemist or your health food store, but I would say if you are pregnant, some oils can be abortifacient. So I would say don't use them if you're pregnant.
Yeah. And I would be very interested, you know, my background that I'm.
Well, I would, and especially I'm sure there's mothers and they're pregnant and they'd love an essential oil bath, and they'd love essential oils, and really there's very few.
Tell us for pregnant women, what Valentine's Day, how can they still celebrate?
Mandarin is a very, very safe oil for pregnancy. And it's a fabulous sweet oil. Children love it as well, actually. It's great for mother and baby. And it's a fabulous, sweet, uplifting aroma, and is fairly safe.
And for the skin, actually, it's actually cell regenerating. So we put it into some of our face creams, Mandarin. You'll find them because it's actually has cell regenerating properties. So for a mom, she wants to put a little bit of Mandarin into an almond oil for stretch marks, or back pain, or a bit of dry skin because the hormones are, then that would be fabulous. You know, it would be a great alternative to shop bought creams, and you know that you try everything. Like the bio oil is mineral based, so some people can be sensitive to to mineral-based oils. I would be one. Whereas using them like the almond oil, the jojoba, drop of mandarin, absolutely fantastic.
Actually, Aparna, I just thought of something there. It's just recently a client of ours asked for something. I just thought I may bring people's awareness to it. There's a huge difference between a fragrance oil and essential oil. And to just clarify that, for example, you know, that we've several different brands here of essential oils, but when a person walks into a pharmacy or into a health store, always make sure that these little bottles, they should have the botanical name written on it alongside the English name.
Yes.
And if it doesn't, don't buy it. It's not a real oil.
Good point.
That's really good advice.
I recently, someone got in touch with me and sent me a picture of something she had bought, and she had noticed something was, you know, she didn't feel right, and she sent me the picture, and I said, "Oh, stop using it immediately. It's synthetic." And so you do have to be careful going on the internet, buying oils. Make sure you buy, you know, from a reputable company. And most like there's several good Irish brands. You know, there's a fantastic company down in Louth, and they make some beautiful oils.
They do, yeah.
And also now there's Tisserand, there's Absolute Aromas, there's Botanical, there's 𝙀𝙀, there's some great companies out there, and then there's ones that aren't so good. So just be careful. It's just something that comes up an awful lot, I find.
So that trustworthiness of the company and the person.
I even find, you know, even when you have to be educated around using essential oils, to be honest.
Yes, absolutely. I agree 100%. And that actually brings me to some questions about your journeys. And Paula, I know that you, like, we did work together before in an office environment, and you come from a corporate background, and you have seen that how in office environment, in work environment, people get very stressed out, and then it can affect their physical and mental health and emotional health. So was it your own experience that brought you on this path, or what happened?
Yeah, it was actually. I suppose I've always had an interest in natural and in oils, but you lose that. Life gets in the way. You know, you've got a family, you've busy work. But my last pregnancy at 40 was tough, and emotionally I suffered, and I found going back to work very, very hard. And I just didn't want to take antidepressants. And I went to the doctor, and I'm lucky in the sense that my sister-in-law is a naturopath, and she recommended lemon balm, which I'm a massive advocate of, to help. You know, my mind was racing, so I wasn't sleeping at night. That means I was tired during the day. I was emotional. I was a wreck. And I found the lemon balm really helped. And then I turned to the oils like the lavender to help with the baby as well, because she wasn't sleeping. It turned out she was lactose intolerant. So reflux, everything. And I was trying to use oils to calm her. And I literally was just, I suppose, sitting in a coffee shop one day at the end of my tether, and I looked up and I saw a purple door and a plaque on the wall. And I was like, oh, I wonder what they do. And it was Green Tower College. It was a holistic college right on my doorstep in a town that I've lived in forever and never knew was there. And I looked it up, and they did a course in oils. And I thought, oh, I'd love to learn how to use the oils myself personally for my use. It'd be great to learn a bit more. And then it said about becoming a practitioner, an aromatherapist. I never even knew what that was. But to be honest, I didn't have a clue. Everything I knew natural was just instinct and just, you know, born with. And that was it. That was the beginning then. And I just really then just to share with as many people, that is suffering, the amount of people that I have, talked to about oils, about de-stressing, about relaxing, the amount of people from a massage point of view that have conditions, back conditions, but it's the mind as well. It's both. The mind affects the body and the body affects the mind. And it's trying to get the balance. And I found holistic therapy, mixture, mindfulness. My partner, actually, he was the one that said, the Headspace app, he had it. He said, try that. And I said, I can't, I'm too busy. I can't. He was like, no, that's what it's for. But it was weeks before I actually caved in. And it was just, took me to another place, So and that was it. And then, because I was so passionate, Eileen was my tutor and teacher. And it was like, wow, find somebody else that had the same, passion that I did then. And that's, and we just
that is like, it was like you were pulled to the path that was meant for you. So you just
that's when I kind of decided, let the universe take its course. You are where you're supposed to be. I fully feel that now, whereas before, when I was in the office environment, I always felt like I didn't belong. I always felt it was a struggle. I wasn't good at the office politics. I didn't feel, anybody who's listening will understand exactly what I'm saying.
Yes.
But now I do. So I kind of just let the universe guide me.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Paula. And now coming to Eileen, you always had a passion for all things natural since your childhood.
Yes.
And you were even mixing your mother's cosmetics to make something and to add something into it. And now you teach aromatherapy in a college. So tell us a little bit about your journey.
Yeah, so true. Well, I grew up in County Wicklow, beautiful part of the country, and I was so lucky, really, all around, on every side, north, south, east and west, sheer beauty. The trees, the forests, and beautiful walks, and the sea. You can see the sea from my parents' house. So I always had a fascination, though, from a young age for aromas, and nothing better I love to do than go down the fields and go up the forest. And I was always bringing back little bags of, dried leaves or petals and rose hips and dandelions, daisies. But one of my favorite things to do was to actually put them in water and mix them and see the colors, what colors came out.
Oh,
I didn't really know. I didn't really know what I was doing. I did make rosehip tea, though, a few times. And I loved to make altars. I always believed in the energies of the earth and the oils. And one of my favorite things to do was to collect wildflowers and put them on altars and offer them up. And even the gorse bushes, and people, in Ireland, there's gorse, but they're like a very wild bush with a yellow flower on them, and they're quite prickly. We used to play under them years ago, but we were always getting torn. But I used to even collect them because the colour that would come out was fascinating. But anyway, to cut a long story short, when I was living in the UK and working in the UK, one day I was sitting on the tube and I felt, something was happening to me. My face and my body was on fire, really hot. And then I noticed, I looked down and I was developing a rash. So I went on into work, but by the time I'd get into work, it had got worse. But so they sent me to the company doctor, and he said to me, hopefully it won't come onto your face. And the antihistamine they gave me seemed to stop it on the body. But about 3 days later, I developed marks on one side, on this side of my cheek. But unfortunately, a doctor actually misdiagnosed me, and I got burnt from the cream I was given. So I was fortunate, people I worked for, they organised for me to go to a top aromatherapy therapy centre in the UK. And
in Harley Street.
It was Harley Street, yeah. And something, the minute I walked in the door, oh my God, it was like heaven. The aromas, oh my God. I just couldn't wait to get up in the bed. And And I was being, even though like I was worried about my skin, and they did do it very professional, like there was photos taken, there was 3-4 people around looking at the sores, like at 5 burns, you know, there were like big boils on the side of my face. And I was very down about it. I was actually, you know, who wants to go to work looking like that? And but they started treatments, and I used to go every Saturday, and I used to look forward to it. Oh my God. And I went for, I think it was between 6 and 9 months. And I always remember asking the girl, I said, please tell me what you're using, please tell me. And she was using hawthorn, calendula, lavender, she used rosemary, a combination. Lemon was used also, and geranium was used, and they cleansed, toned, they deep cleansed, they left oils on me. I bought their own creams and lotions, like what myself and Paul are making, and I kind of made a promise to myself that day, this is the way to go for me. And I used to go down to Camden then, I was trying to buy all these natural products. And then, like Paula too, I had my own, you know, share of stress and issues and problems down through the years. And I worked in banking for a lot of years too. But I had, my back got very bad, and just degeneration and discs, and I got diagnosed with arthritis as well, which is quite painful at times. And so I decided, I left, I took redundancy, and then I found myself at a crossroads, and I had to be quite honest, it was a difficult enough time, because I had to downsize, move out the country a bit, had very little money. And I actually started making lotions and potions, because I thought, I'm going to be frugal. And I started making pain balms for my own aches and pains. I started making hand creams, anything that I could make, I'd make from oils. And then, like Paula, one day I was directed towards Green Tower College in Navan, beautiful holistic college. And I started off studying Reiki there with Ďaľa Fagan. And it was wonderful experience. And that really, truly helped me realize what I wanted to do. And it helped, you know, it's all about the mind, really, and believing and trusting in yourself, and sending yourself some positivity.
Yes.
And one day a comment was made about my knowledge of, you know, aromatherapy, even though I hadn't done my own research, but I hadn't actually taken a certified course on it. And like that, the very first day that I started that class, I made a promise to myself that I would teach it, because I just believe in it so much. I just believe in how it can enhance your life on a daily basis.
Yes.
You know, you can do some very simple things, a couple of drops of lavender on your pillow at night to help you de-stress, to help you sleep. You can make that little simple oil that I'm after making there. You can massage it into your temples, you know, to help. You can put it on your pulse point. You can inhale, and it will uplift. And aromatherapy has so many sides to it, and I really think it's very underestimated in Ireland. It has been. It has changed a lot now.
I'm sorry, I have actually one question in my mind. If I don't ask, it might out from my mind, because it is so simple that you mentioned you can use something as simple as lavender oil on your pillow. So would it be safe for, like, say, leaving cert students? They might be getting very stressed out at the moment because exams, and they have to study and pick the courses, and there's so much stress out there at the moment, especially with pandemic. You know, everybody seems to be so would you say, like, is there any age group that can't use, or anybody can use it?
No, everybody can use it. Yeah,
lavender is fairly safe. You know, it's known as a safe oil. In fact, it's there's only two oils that you can put neat on the skin. That's lavender and tea tree. Although I would err a little bit on the side of caution with tea tree. But lavender is very, very safe. Less is always more. Less is always more with aromas and aromatherapy. And with babies and the elderly, it's a very entirely different matter. You know, a newborn, that's a totally different situation.
Would you say not to use around newborn babies?
There's debate still going on, so different aromatherapists will have different takes on it. However, the recommendations would be around 3 months, 3 months and up.
So up to 3 months, do not put any lavender oil around the baby, just to be on the safe side, because they're so young, you don't want to be doing anything, even if there is 0.1% chance of it.
They're so tiny, and their senses are still developing, and their skin, and they're going through so much, and everything is so sensitive. So they recommend that 12 weeks is to wait 12 weeks before using them. But there's some lovely for fretfulness babies. Mandarin and lavender are two wonderful oils, for babies that are fretting. And for elderly as well, they're probably the two safest.
Yeah, the elderly, like that blend there now, if I was to make it for an elderly person, I'd be just probably putting 1 drop. I'd be half in the dilution.
Or doubling the plant oil.
Yeah, exactly. So there are ways around it. You just have to be a little careful. And just to say, if you do have anyone interested from this show, and if they have any questions, they can get in contact with us. We'd be more than happy to,
So how can they reach out to you, and how can they ask any questions related to the products?
Yeah, we have a website.
Which is lusaromatherapy.ie.
Yes.
So LUS, as it is written in your name, so lusaromatherapy.ie. So you can find them. They have a Facebook page. So just you can directly message on the chat box and then ask them any question that you may have. And you can really trust, because these are our local people who are making these products with lots of love, and love is added ingredient in every product of Lus Aromatherapy.
We're guided. We're very which is another thing. Eileen's very connected to the angels, and if you don't mind me saying,
thank you.
But I suppose we both would be quite way connected. So we do, we call on the MEPs, to kind of, when we're blending, we'd say a little, please make it blend,
I think
good for whoever used it.
Pure,
does help.
Yeah, pure and honest intent is so
good. So as we teach in mindful cooking, that you should have that mind that is calm and happy when you're cooking the food for the family. So you carry that intention in making your product, which is so beautiful. And you're also kind of, if somebody is not that high tech, they don't want to go on the website and buy things, they can also find you in the Solstice Arts Center in Navan. So when would you be available there, and how can they get you?
They stock our balms and our soaps for us. So we don't physically, we're not there, but we will be.
The products are there.
The products are there, So they've got our pain balm, which is wonderful, hand balm, lip balm, and some of our lovely artisan soaps. They're available there. If they want to see us, they can Gmail us. We can arrange consultations, or we are at the Organic Rock Farm Market in Slane. That'll be reopening in March.
Organic Farmers Market in Slane, which is starting in March.
So
they can find you directly there, and they can buy your product and ask questions and get educated about these products.
That's it. Yeah, I mean, we can do bespoke as well. So if anybody wants, they've got an ailment or a condition, we work on bespoke products as well for our customers. So they can just send us a Gmail. So it's lusaromatherapy@gmail.com, and we can organize a script blend for them. That's no problem. To do that for our customers too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate. And now we are coming to the end, and I would ask your kind of one question. Is there a thing called love potion with essential oils? And what is
Ooh.
it? If you can tell very quickly, and any last bit of advice for viewers who are watching or who will be watching.
Yes. Well, love potion, I think, patchouli would have to be in it for definite. Patchouli, and I would also say rose and lavender. And I think I'd be putting a hint of ginger in there.
Ooh,
Spicing it up as well. So we have the
Spicy
spicy.
love life.
Yes, spicy. A very small amount, but it makes a very intoxicating, highly aromatic blend. But it is good because you're working on all the senses. You spoke about that yourself, and that's what you teach. And it's connecting with the senses, and you're looking. You could make up a beautiful his and hers massage oil, and just massage it, gently into the back and the head, neck and shoulders. It's really it would be a very, very nice, very romantic as well.
Or just buy ours.
Yes,
We already have the love blend made.
Yeah, that would be easy. Like, who would
Yeah.
bother doing all of
Yeah.
that? And they could make some mistakes.
Buy
So
ours.
we
Yeah.
have
Light
it.
some candles, burn
Yeah.
some oils,
yeah.
get some rose petals. The atmosphere is so
Yeah.
important, I think.
And celebrate this.
Oh, look at
beautiful
you. We have our rose petals.
And we have our
Valentine's Day with
And we have
with
our
flower
little love bombs.
and with your heart.
That's our love bomb. So you can have a love bomb.
Wonderful. So, see, it is
Lovely.
already looking very romantic with little effort here. So, thank you so much, Paula and Eileen. I really, really appreciate your
Thank you,
work and
Aparna. We're
Thanks.
honored.
Yeah, we're honored.
you
Thanks
know,
for having
we would love to bring you maybe again sometime with some
Yes,
more
please.
other information, especially around therapeutic effect of the essential oils and aromatherapy. So thanks for joining us. And as they say that for true love, love without condition, talk without intention, and to give without reason, and to care without expectation. So that is the spirit of true love. So hope you all have most wonderful Valentine's Day and make the most of it. Love will always remain, but these special days just add a little more extra zeal to life. So do celebrate Valentine's Day. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.